I also want to clarify this. It is not true that it is my mother who initiated or proposed the advertising boycott against the Inquirer.
Hindi ba kayo parang aso't pusa pag nagkikita ng nanay mo?
Oo, palagi kami nag-aaway ng nanay ko.
Pero at that time ba, nasa mind mo na someday, maging artista rin ako?
Ayoko mag-artista noon nung bata ako, ayoko mag-artista. Nung gumagawa sila ng pelikula, hindi talaga yun.
Nabanggit mo kasi yung breast cancer. Kailan mo ito na-discover?
2004. Palagi akong nanghihina. Nagparamdam na yung cancer.
Totoo ba yun? Ikaw ang paboritong manugang?
Hindi siya nagpunta sa kasal namin eh.
O ganun ba yun?
Oo, hindi siya nagpunta.
She was not in favor? Magandang araw Pilipinas at sa ating mga kababayan sa ibang bansa. Welcome to TikTok with Aster Amoyo. Sa araw na ito mga kaibigan ay sina naman pong special na celebrities ang ating makakakwentuhan. Katunayan, isa po silang pamilya. And we're so happy and I'm so honored because napagsama natin sa unang pagkakataon ang direktor, ang aktres, writer, director as well, at ang anak nilang aktor, the Siguion Reyna family. Bebeth Ortesa, Direk Carlito Siguion Reyna, and Rafa Siguion Reyna.
Thank you sa pag-guest mo rin sa amin.
Saka thank you sa mga viewers.
Saka thank you sa food.
Pandan Asian Cafe, and of course, Mama Richie, thank you
sa
so
Pandan
much.
Asian Cafe, masarap magpakain dito sa
Ayan, Alvin, Alvin,
Amoyo.
Chef Tatung. Direk, kumusta ka na? And I'm glad that you're back in the Philippines. Hindi na lang as director, kundi bilang aktor.
Thank you. Actually, I've been back from teaching films sa NYU sa Singapore since 2015. So I was there from
it's been 10 years,
2008 to 2015.
Oh, yes.
Tapos I came back and then I was made institute director ng Cinemalaya Film Institute where I taught that every year, and I brought some of my yung colleagues ko sa NYU faculty to teach. Most of the time before the pandemic, that was until 2020. Active pa rin naman yon. Kaya lang ngayon, most of my work now is with the Cinemalaya Film Festival. I was made chairman of the competition and monitoring committee. Kaya yun ang most of my work now is there. Plus the acting job. I'm grateful that they've been thinking of me for these parts. Kaya, and one of them nga is yung Post House. Directed by Nicholas Red.
Oh, yes.
Oh, and produced by Viva,
Viva.
and Evolve Studios.
And this is the very first time na nagsama kayong magtatay.
Tama. Pero wala kami eksena together in the
First
movie.
time to promote a movie together.
Same
Na
movie, pero
actor
wala
kaming
kayong
dalawa.
eksena.
Yeah, wala
Oh,
kami
that's
eksena.
strange, ha?
But it's fun.
Ba't hindi sinaming nanay?
Eh kasi mahihain ako.
Pero wala pa kayong movie together, or not necessarily movie or even a TV project, wala pa kayong pinagsamahan?
Wala pa sa TV
No,
project.
well, noong 2014, we made a movie, Reyna Films, yung Hari ng Tondo for Cinemalaya. It was an entry sa Cinemalaya. Rafa, he came out do sa movie na yun. So we worked together. Pero I was the director, Bebeth was the writer, Rafa was an actor.
At saka wala pa siyang connection, official connection sa Cinemalaya noon. Kasi ngayong meron na, kami ni Rafa, hindi kami pwedeng gumawa ng pelikula sa Cinemalaya.
Huwag mo naman i-endorse.
Hindi nga
Huwag mo
pwede.
naman, baka minsan makalimutan, pwede pa kaming makaraket. Pwede pa tayong makaraket sa Cinemalaya. Ini-endorse mo na hindi tayong pwedeng rumaket.
Parang may disadvantage yung pagiging part ni
Well,
Direk
not
sa...
with that competition director.
Diba? May disadvantage ba na he's part of the Cinemalaya?
Masagwan tingnan delikadesa.
Conflict of interest.
Oo.
Alam mo,
Oo
sa
nga
mga filmmakers sa Cinemalaya, wala akong pake.
Kunin niyo siya as an independent actor.
Kunin niyo ako,
di ba?
racket.
Oo. Kumusta kayo sa bahay? Lalo na with Rafa around.
Actually, nami-miss ko na yung bahay kasi nag-move out na ako when I got married. I got married 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, right.
So,
2023.
now na hindi na ako nakatira sa home, nami-miss rin yung pagkain, masarap. Masarap yung luto. Pero dumadaan naman ako.
Nagluluto bang nanay mo?
Minsan.
Marunong
Minsan.
ba magluto yan?
Kasi pag December, hilig namin mag-New York for Christmas. So, doon nagluluto siya.
Ako kusinera.
Hindi ba kayo parang aso't pusa pag nagkikita ng nanay mo?
Oo. Oo. Yun yung ano natin. Yun yung showbiz ano natin. Palagi kami nag-aaway ng nanay ko.
Yun ang quotable soundbite niya from the show. Palagi kami nag-aaway.
Naglalakad kami sa New York isang winter. Mabigat. Nag-i-snow eh, so ayokong madulas. So hawak-hawak niya yung bag ko. Eh nababagalan siya sa akin maglakad. Sinabihan niya ako ng, Mama, can your feet move as fast as your mouth? Ganyan siya mag-ano sa akin. But in spite of yung mga ganyang kalokohan ni Rafa sa akin, palagi niya akong binabara pa nagpapaturo ako sa computer. He would say, Mama, next time, typewriter na lang bilhin mo ha, para hindi nakataturuan. Ang gustong-gusto ko naman na sinabi niya sa akin, kaya lagi ko siya napapatawad. When I was dealing with cancer, and then we met with my oncologist for the first time, biglang he suddenly said, Mama, you're going to get well. Sabi ko, what makes you say that? Sabi niya, because the word mother is in chemotherapy. It's actually chemotherapy. Naiyak naman ako. At kaya napapagpasensyahan ko siya. Kahit
See, it
ganyan
always
siya.
works eh. It always works.
Kahit ganyan siya.
Nabanggit mo kasi yung breast cancer. Kailan mo ito na-discover?
2004. Inoperahan ako November. And then, nagpunta kami sa New York para magpa-second opinion. And then, ang chemotherapy ko was done in January of 2005. And it was during my chemo treatment. Kasi nakaupo ka lang doon, antayin mong matapos yung gamot na mag-drip. Nakatitig lang ako sa sapatos ko. Naisip ko, bakit ako kailangan magterno pa ng sapatos? Eh pagkatapos nito, yung isang dibdib ko, totoo, yung isa hindi na. Nakuwento ko ngayon sa mother-in-law ko. Sabi ni Armida, hindi ba meron ka nung kulay blue na sapatos na katulad ng kulay pula na sapatos ko? Sabi ko, meron. Pinadala niya yung sapatos sa bahay. So magmula noon, hindi na ako nagterno ng sapatos. Gaya niya, no?
Oo nga, no?
Magkaiba, lahat-lahat. Kahit saan ako magpunta, iba na yung kulay.
So you have to buy 2 pairs?
Oo, pero alam mo, merong isang nag-offer sa akin sa Marikina. Niregaluhan nila ako. Sabi nila sa akin, Miss Bibet, pag nagpagawa kayo sa amin, hindi nyo na kailangan bumili ng 2 sapatos. Basta kung anong design ang gusto ninyo, hindi namin pagpaparehuin ang kulay.
Agong naging reaction mo direct when she was diagnosed of breast cancer?
Well, of course, shock no, nung umpisa. Pero parang ang bilis kasi nung processing ko kasi parang you just get to think about kung ano ba yung kailangan gawin, di ba? The necessities. So, syempre, doctor, tapos, and then, yun na nga, nung second opinion, my sister also helped us dyan. Yung getting that second opinion, ang mga contacts with doctor, yung sa hospital sa New York. I think in a situation like that lang kasi sa akin, pansin ko, parang it's useless na magdrama-drama pa. Just it becomes very clear, all the objectives become clear, di ba? Parang yung point na nabasagin sa lamin and then everything, the focus just clarifies what you have to do. Get the diagnosis at saka treatments and all of that. Ganun lang. I mean, basically, you just focus. Parang naging tunnel vision yung situation for me. Napabilis yung process na yon.
Rafa, how old were you then?
I was 14 or 15. Maalala ko talaga about my mom's cancer diagnosis is never nila pinaramdam sa amin ng kapatid ko na ganong kalala yung sakit niya.
Actually, ano na ako eh.
Stage
3C.
Hindi ko lang-
Isang kindat na lang, bingo na.
Hindi ko lang na-realize na ganong kalala yung stage ng cancer niya until napanood ko yung movie ni Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, 50-50. And then dun sa movie na yun, nabanggit na stage 3 is 50-50. And I was 21 when I saw that movie, or 20, sometime in college. So parang, doon ko lang na-realize, tinawagan ko siya, sabi ko, Ma, were you 50-50 ba nung nagka-breast cancer siya? That's when I realized it. But it's really been one of my mom's biggest advocacies. And we're grateful. It's been how many years now in remission? Since
22
22 years
Wow.
in remission.
Cancer
So,
survivor.
I think ang nakatulong sa akin ng malaking-malaki, faith in God and my sense of humor. And yung group of cancer sisters to which I belong to, I Can Serve Foundation, a group of wounded healers ang tawag namin sa aming mga sarili. Umiikot kami sa iba-ibang barangay, nagtuturo kung paano magpa-check up, kung paano magpaayos. Na-survive mo naman. At saka, it's so hard to be selfishly thinking na ako na lang asakusuhin nyo, ako naman ang mahalin nyo, because mas mahirap yung ibang buhay ng ibang may cancer kaysa sa akin. Nakikipagtulungan kami mga members ng I Can Serve sa ibang grupo. And then, by the grace of God.
what I also remember about the time nung may sakit si Mama, never siya nag-stop magtrabaho. Silang dalawa. And then I think yun nakatulong yun kasi hindi nila iniisip. And then I think it helped healing as well. Ang sa alam ko, with some of the cancer advocacies and events that I've attended with my mom, mahirap din pag minsan nagkaka-cancer, nalulungkot, nagsastop na magtrabaho, nagsastop ng kumilos, nakakalala ng kondisyon minsan. So that's what I noticed when may sakit yung mom ko. Never siya mag-stop magtrabaho, nagsusulat pa rin ng script. I'm not sure kung umaarte ka pa at the time, but I know script writing. She was always still writing script.
The one time that you made me cry, ngayon maiiyak ako pag naalala ko. Nung nakalbo na ako, nung nalugas ang buhok ko sa chemotherapy, tapos nung nakita ni Rafa na wala na akong buhok, hinalikan niya ako dito. Naiyak ako. Kasi kahit ganyan siya, mahal niya pala ako. Che.
And I think pag nag-attend siya ng mga events for her cancer advocacies, I think she really preaches that. Kasi minsan napapanood siya ng mga ibang may sakit din. And naalala nila na, yes, kahit may sakit ako, I don't have to be defined by my sickness. I can still work, I can still do things. And then yun, nakakatulong talaga.
Kailan na-discover na cancer-free ka na?
At ngayong na-discover yung cancer ko, noong 2004, palagi akong nanghihina. Ang ginawa ko, baka panahon na para tumigil ako manigarilyo kasi I was smoking.
Oh yeah,
at
I
that
remember
time, no?
that. Oo.
And then I started to smoke when I was in college. So, nung tinigil ko ng paninigarilyo ko, medyo tumaba ako dahil yung pagkain nalalasahan ko. So, ang ginawa ko, nag-boxing ako sa Elordi Gym sa may Parañaque. Oo, parang ano, pagkatapos ang nangyari doon, I got to be relatively healthy. Nagparamdam na yung cancer that there was something wrong with me. Ilang
How
hospital.
old were you when that happened?
50.
2005?
2004. I turned 50 that year. Tapos, nagpunta ako, nagpa-examine sa iba-ibang hospital. Una, hindi makita. Tapos, giniit ko na hanapin nyo. Finally, yung isang diagnostic clinic na pag-aari ng brother-in-law ng sister-in-law ko, nakitaan ako ng shadow ng involvement sa kilikili. And then, bumalik ako sa hospital. And then, nakita nga nila na meron ako. But I never felt alone kasi sinamahan nila ako eh. Pero alam mo si Almeida, kung hindi nadalaw niya ako doon sa ospital, hindi niya ako tinitingnan ng mata sa mata. Lagi niya akong tinitingnan sa balikat, lagi niya akong tinitingnan dito, pero never mata sa mata. Nung last day ko na, mag-check out na ako habang nagbabayad si Carlitos ng mga bills sa ospital. Sabi ko, Mami, ba't ayaw mo tumingin sa akin? Tumingin siya sa akin for the first time. Biglang umiyak. Doon lang. But she kept me good company, my mother-in-law. Pati father-in-law ko na.
Totoo ba yun? Ikaw paboritong manugang?
Dalawa lang naman kaming manugang, dalawa lang ang anak na lalaki.
Oo.
So, okay, magkalapit din sila.
Oh,
No,
kasi
ano.
madalas nung buhay pa si Tita Mids, ikaw parating kasama eh.
Kasi ako yung trabaho, magkapareho kami ng trabaho. Nung nasa MTRCB siya, tinutulungan ko siya noon.
What do you miss most sa lola mo?
She passed away 2019. A few years before nung 2019, may ano na siya, dementia, Alzheimer's. I'd like to talk to her about how my career is going, yung mga movies na nagawa ko.
Hindi niyo inabutan, di ba?
Hindi eh. Pero yung pinaka-first na play ko, napanood din niya. Pero mahina na rin yung memory niya kasi
Pero she saw at Hari ng Tondo.
Yes,
She
so
was there
napanood
sa
rin niya yung
premiere.
movie.
She was
But
very happy dun.
I think if I could talk to her, parang tinuwa yung mga director na nakatrabaho ko, yung mga movies na nagawa ko, yung mga serye na nagawa ko. Kasi nung bata ako, of course, hinahangaan ko siya. Siya yung napapanood ko sa TV. So, ngayon na parang 10 years, 11 years in the industry, parang may mga nagawa na rin ako in terms of movies and projects. So,
She
yun,
must be
I would
so
talk to her
proud of
about
you.
that.
Kung naandyan si Tita Mids, anong mensahe mo sa kanya?
Hi, mahal. Enjoy ako sa mga movies na nagawa ko. Alam ko na rin yung nararamdaman mo when you would make movies. Mahirap siya, but it is very fulfilling and rewarding. And sana makagawa tayo one day in heaven.
Naka-smile sa sayo.
Mahal ang tawag nila sa
Ay,
lola
kaya nagtaka
niya.
nga ako eh.
Sana nakapaggawa kami ng movie na to act together. Kasi hindi pa ako umarte nung buhay pa siya eh. Pero one time, umarte ako sa movie nila. 6 years old ako. And she was producing.
Yeah.
Reyna
Abang
Film.
kamay ang pangarap.
But hindi ko pa
Maricel
gustong,
Soriano.
ayoko mag-artista noon eh, nung bata ako, ayoko mag-artista.
Nireklamo siya kasi ang ibinayad daw sa kanya, bisikleta.
Pero ngayon, yun ang gustong-gusto ko gawin. Gusto kong umarte ng umarte.
Anong namimiss mo kay Tita Mids?
She was always interested. She was always curious kung ano nangyayari. Even if ano ka na, tunnel vision ka na sa ginagawa mo. Ako, I felt she was always asking. She was always compassionate in that way. Palaging yung thoughtfulness, palaging iniisip. In the light of all of the, di ba, yung ingay, political noise, at saka lahat ng industry noise, and lahat ng trabaho, she's always thoughtful, she's always nangangamusta. And always wanting to keep that connection, that dialogue going. Pero ako, I feel talagang, I really miss that. Kasi syempre, when I left home na, nung family, syempre, you see less of each other. We would go there for lunches, every week. I really think she really contributed a lot, not only sa movies, the movies that she produced, advocacy against censorship, and yung kanyang leadership within the industry. But really, I think talagang treasure talaga yung kanyang Aawitang Kita advocacy, yung her as an artist,
it's
as a
an
performance,
iconic program or
as a performer,
show.
as a musical, as a singer, and also as an actor. But basically, the fact that she really brought the Philippine music to the attention, back to public attention, because when she started it, 1970, everybody was singing sa mga noontime shows, all English stuff. At talagang yung Philippine traditional music was considered baduy. Talagang nobody was doing that. Kasi ang background niya was classical opera, And then she got interested in traditional Philippine music.
And she was so passionate about it.
Yeah, she was very passionate. So she really brought that back. Nag-umpisa yan in a small concert siya. Don David, the tenor, Aurelio Estanislao, the baritone. At tapos there was a pianist, there was a guitarist, and I think there was a bass player. 6 sila. They staged it. Parang traditional story na babaeng Pilipina torn between the mayaman na galing sa Amerika and the Filipino the Filipino suitor and then the pro-Western. So classic zarzuela stuff. And this was in 1969-70 sa the Old Pal building sa Ayala Avenue. The story was a simple story, but ang idea niya talaga was to put various songs of various composers and lyricists together to make a story. Iba-ibang composers yon, not one composer. Iniyaya niya lahat ng composers who were involved. Small audience, about 100, 200 people, hindi ko na maalala, maliit lang yung auditorium. After that, talaga, it was so well received. Yung mga composers were saying, pwede palang gawin ito. Yung iba-ibang composers gawing kwento, and then it's captivating. And then she got supporters from sponsors, and then she got real support. And that became her principal advocacy. And then later on, movies, basically professionalizing, contributed what she could professionalizing the movie industry situation that she was circulating in. And then also she was acting.
Grabe
I'm
doon.
really proud about yung
grabe
kanyang
yung
contributions. She was
diba?
really,
Naging MTR
ang dami ko
signature.
natutunan from her, professionalism, at saka yung getting the right people together, getting your team together, finding your team. That was one of those things that got me interested in film, kaya nag-aral ako ng filmmaking. Originally, akala ko magiging screenwriter ako. Pero after the first semester sa NYU, I focused immediately sa directing. It's not that she's the only one who's doing. I mean, still Peke Galiaga was like that in his team, no? So,
pero iba yung
but
Tita
basically,
Mids,
si Peke had run a professional ship talaga. Pero konti sila. Yung pagkakaalam ko siya at my mom at Peke's group, o baka magkasabay, I can't remember. Baka naunang my mom in producing.
mom,
Pero it was ganun. It was really, she helped really set that standard. I miss that also about her. Aside from the personal, of course, she's my mom.
I think if she was around now, parang she would be very vocal about important things na nangyayari sa industriya natin, lalo na the Eddie Garcia
Yeah,
bill.
right. Totoo. Isa rin siya sa mga advocate niyan eh.
And yung just na maayos sa set, everybody is on time, professional. And even yung mga nauna sa akin sa showbiz, pag sumasalang ako minsan sa mga set, usually ang nagkukwento sa akin mga makeup artist or wardrobe na, alam mo yung lola mo, dati pinapanood ko talaga yung Aawitan Kita. Yung mga younger na ngayon sa showbiz, they might not remember or know, but ako, pag may mga nakakatrabaho ko sa showbiz that are older than me, I'm always reminded of the legacy that she left in the industry, and we're super proud of that.
Occasionally, tinitignan ko, I click sa YouTube, nandun yung kanyang album, yung Aawitan Kita,
Yes,
her first album.
oo.
And I listen. It's just, parang it just brings her back to
Actually, she
life.
has contributed a lot in this industry. And your mom was an icon. And of course, anong namimiss mo sa mother-in-law mo?
Una kong script na sinulat sa television outside of news and public affairs was Aawitan Kita.
Oh, yeah, talaga.
This was in 1975, the Independence Day episode. Nakaaway na kasi yung writer niya. To work with Armida nung araw would always mean na
I was about
nakakawal.
to, ano nga eh, I was
Si
about to ask
Marina
you that.
Fileo
eh, oh.
Gonzalez,
Oo.
nagalit si Marina, hinugot ang script niya. So, pinapapack up na ng hindi ko alam na magiging future biyenan ko. Pinapapack up niya na yung taping.
Ayan na.
Sabi nung kanyang executive producer at that time, hindi pa executive producer ang tawag nung araw doon eh, production unit manager eh. Sabi ni Julie Solueta, Armid, sabi niya, kasi nahiram natin ang OB van. Pinayagan tayo mag-shooting sa bahay ni Aguinaldo sa Cavite. Sayang naman kung ipapack up natin to. You want to try my friend? She's a new writer in news and public affairs. Sabi ng Armida, okay, papuntahin mo rito kasi nung araw ang lola ni Carlitos may kantin sa harap ng lumang yung Bilao.
Yes.
Sa Bohol Avenue, what
Bohol
used to be
Avenue. Right.
Bohol Avenue.
So sabi, papuntahin mo rito yung kaibigan mo. Kung matapos na yung script by 5 o'clock at nagandahan ako, gagawin natin. So pinapunta ako. Kinuwento niya sa akin, ito yung mga kanta, ang title, Kalayaan, Kalayaan. Kagagraduate ko lang sa UP noon. Aktivista ka. Siyempre, alam mo, pagkasabing kalayaan, alam mo kung paano i-structure.
Correct.
So, naisulat ko. Excited ako, Aster, kasi ang magdidirect si Lupita.
Concho.
Oo, Lupita Concho. Hindi pa siya kasiwahara noon eh. Tapos, sabi ni Armida, kung gusto mo sumabay ka sa amin, ang meeting place sa Bohol Avenue. Na-excite ako kasi kapatid ni Ninoy Aquino at kapatid ni Juan Ponce Enrile, makakasama ko sa kotse. Hindi ako nakatulog the night before. Pagdating doon sa sasakyan, sa antok ko, nakatulog ako. Wala ako narinig kahit anong pinag-usapan nila. Yun ang nangyari. Yun ang first script ko ever. At pagkatapos, binayaran niya ako kagad. 500 pesos na cheque, the biggest in 1975.
Ang laking pera na noon.
Ay, hello. Naibili ko ng uniforme.
240 pesos pa lang yata ang minimum wage noon.
Naibili ko ng mga uniforme at mga libro yung mga kapatid ko
Yes, totoo yun.
nag-aaral.
240 lang ang minimum at that time.
Pagkatapos nun, nasunod-sunod na yung pagsusulat ko
So
sa
that
kanya.
was the start kung paano kayo naging close isa't isa.
Strictong producer mother
I
ko.
know, that's
Even
why-
with me. Alam mo ba, sa dubbing kasi, I was very mabusisi.
Oo.
Busisi talaga ako to get the So dubbing nung
Ikaw pa lang ang
dubbing
minahal.
na ikaw palang minahal with Maricel, ako nandun sa Sampaguita. Siya is very stickler for budget and schedule, di ba?
Right.
So tapos na daw, ganyan. Pero I had to get this reading right dun sa yung ginagawa ni Maricel. Si Maricel was there. We had to finish the scene, ganyan. Tapos talaga, finally, nag-galit siya. Tapos she called me sa labas, doon sa dubbing.
Yes,
Nakita,
yes.
umiikot pa yung mga dubbers
Oo,
doon.
yes.
Napagalitan na ako. Tapos ako naman, I was arguing. I was saying, hindi, we have to finish it. No, what's the good of kung budget and schedule kung hindi naman, if you can't get it right. Di ba, binuhusan ako ng tubig.
Nagkwento sa akin ito si Maricel Soriano. Kunwento din sa akin to ni Tita Maricel. Sabi sa akin ni Tita Maricel, when that happened, nag-aaway sila and then binuhusan siya ng tubig ni Mahal. Tapos sabi ni Papa kay Tita Maricel, excuse me Maricel, can you excuse us for 1 second? Tapos sabi ni Tita Maricel, ako naman, lumabas ako. So lumabas siya ng kwarto. Pag sarado na ng pintuan, sisigawan sila.
And yet,
Sama kasi kami sa serye ni Tita Maricel. So
ang
kinukwento
kwento
niya.
sa akin ni Maria, sabi niya, pero yun namang tatay ni Rafa kasi stricto ng nanay niya. De gumawa nga sila ng movie together, abot kami yung pangarap. May isang eksena ron na discover ni Rafa, yung isang bag na punong-puno ng pera, ang tatay niya doon si Pen Medina eh. Ang line ni Rafa dapat, itay-itay ang daming pera. Pagkatingin niya kay Pen, yung mata niya pupunta sa talagang tatay niya na nandun sa likod ng camera. Sabi nito sa akin, hindi niya kaya. Palitan na natin siya. Gumit na si Maricel. Sabi ni Maricel, direct pag pinilitan mo siya, palitan mo na rin ako.
Wow!
Kaya pagkatapos nun,
Never
ang nakaisip ng paraan, si Pen Medina. Sabi ni Pen, direct dito ka tumayo sa likod ko. So nung line na ni Rafa na itay-itay
Ito yung 6 years old ka pa lang.
Yes.
Itay-itay ang daming pera. Nakatingin siya kay Carlitos, nasa likod ni Pen, so tama yung POV. Mga temper ng pamilya.
Nagreklamo ka about your mom being very strict, pero ikaw din, napaka-stricto mo rin bilang direktor.
Ano kaya sasabihin niya about us working together as actors in our movie Post House in cinemas, August 20?
Talagang hindi kinakalimutan,
I'm sure
no?
she would be excited. No?
Okay.
Sasabihin niya, ganyan nga, dapat you should learn how to promote.
Actually, ang image ng lola mo, talagang kinatatakutan yan sa industriya. Oh, Tita Mids.
Pero it's funny you say that kasi kinakatakutan nga siya pero may pagmamahal din eh.
At least, hindi ka
Yeah,
pwede
yeah.
loko. Pagka katrabaho mo si Tita Mids, kailangang magseryoso ka.
Yes, yes,
Otherwise, di ba? Kinatatakutan, but the respect was there. Yun naman ang
Ako
kaibahan.
for me personally ngayon, ganun din ang tingin ko with someone like Direk Joel Lamangan, di ba?
Oo, ay, si
Parang,
Tita-
parang
oo.
na-intimidate din ako with Direk
Oo.
Joel but at the same
Right,
time,
right.
pag may sinasabi siya, nakikinig din ako. It's very respected.
Actually, si Direk Joel, yun din yung sinasabi nila nakakatakot kasi naninigaw, nagmumura sa set. Pero once na tapos na yung eksena, wala, andun na naman yung pagiging ano niya. Di ba, iba eh.
Yun yung
Minsan-
iba eh. Yung pinakauna kong director, ganun din eh. Si Direk Mario. Pag nagagalit siya, parang you feel so bad kasi napagalitan ka. Pero pag time to eat na sa set, Rafa, ka. So yun din nakikita ko sa lola ko nung nagpo-produce siya na stricto siya. Pero pag tapos na yung galit niya sa trabaho, hanggang trabaho lang.
Bibeth, paano kayo nagkasundo ni Tita Mids? At that time, syempre hindi mo pa siya mother-in-law.
Basta nakikita niya na binavalue mo yung work mo at marunong ka magrespeto sa trabaho ng iba. Yung mga ganun ang importante sa kanya. Kasi nung bago siya nagpo-produce halimbawa, nung araw ang crew natutulog sa production bus. Iba ang ulam ng crew sa artista. Nung si Armida na nagpo-produce, kailangan meron ding tirahan at tulugan ang mga crew at kung anong pagkain ng artista, yun din ang pagkain ng crew. At pantay siya kung magturing. Sabi ng ibang mataray si Armida, pero ang katarayan niya, pantay-pantay. Hindi siya nagtataray dahil mahirap ka lang. Kahit artista ka, tatarayan ka niya. At witness ko dyan si Edo Manzano. First movie ni Carlitos, Mrs. Mo, Mrs. Ko. Na-late si Edo ng gising. Wala nang pagkain. So, umpo si Edo. Can I have breakfast? Wala nang breakfast, sabi ni Armida. Hindi ka kumain sa oras, wala na. Mag-antay ka hanggang lunch.
Oh my gosh.
To teach you also a lesson. Di ba? Yun ang ano naman niya, na hindi ka
Siya ba
ginugutom.
nagsabi na,
Oo.
hirap naman sa production time, bawal kumain or something? Bawal
Oo,
malate ba?
Bawal malate.
Bawal mali. di ba?
Bawal malate sa
So,
pagkain.
but she was doing itong mga ginagawa ng what the EGL law is trying to do. She was doing that. She already did doing it before the Eddie Garcia
very
law.
strict siya, pero may di ba?
Alam mo, nung araw, marami nagtatanong kasi nung marami nang nagsasabi ng ganito o ganyan kay ERAP. Some people are already resigning. May mga nag-resign na sa MTRCB kasi pinuprotest daw nila si ERAP daw ganito, si ERAP daw ganyan. Ang mother-in-law ko hindi nag-resign. May in-announce sa TV na nag-resign na siya as chairman ng MTRCB. Pinatawagan sa akin ng mami yung TV show na yun. Tapos in-explain niya. Kasi pala, nung galit na galit si Cardinal Sin sa mother-in-law ko, dahil daw masyadong liberal ang MTRCB, tinawagan ni Cardinal Sin si ERAP. Fire Armida because anak siya ng demonyo, ang sabi ni Cardinal Sin. ERAP refused. Hindi siya sinisante ni ERAP. So sabi ng mother-in-law ko sa akin, hindi niya ako sinisante. Bakit ko siya iiwan ngayon? Kaya meron silang ganun.
I also want to clarify this. Although wala ako doon, it was Bibeth who was there. It is not, absolutely not true that it is my mother who initiated or proposed the advertising boycott against the Inquirer. That, I'm putting that down on the record. I was not there, si Bibeth was there, pero that's what I heard.
I was there, Manay Ichu was there, Attorney Laksa was there. Tapos, somebody proposed that, Sir, sabi kay ERAP, bakit hindi na lang natin ganito, ganyan, ganyan? Ano sa tingin mo, Tita Mid, sabi ni ERAP, I will never adhere to that because my belief in the freedom of expression is absolute. So, hindi totoo
And
yun.
she asked a question
Yeah, doesn't that run contrary to
sa prior restraint. Isn't that prior restraint?
Prior restraint. Ano na to Constitution na to na yung naisingit ng Nilino Broca, yung freedom of expression.
Right.
So sabi ng mama, we
So
cannot
she was
do
the
it.
only voice in that group who in fact raised the point against the advertising boycott of the Inquirer. So I'm putting that down on the record kasi may mga naniniwala that she did.
Yes, oo.
She
Good
was
thing
not-
you clarified it. Mas maganda na rin yun. Mabuti na rin nasabi mo. Babalikan ko lang yung sinabi ko sa'yo. Paano kayo nagkasundo ni Tita Mids?
Hindi siya nagpunta sa kasal namin
O, ganun ba yun?
Oo, hindi siya nagpunta.
She was not in favor
Hindi
sa'yo?
yun. Kasi
Okay.
ang feeling niya, nagsinungaling daw kami na nagsinungaling. Kasi
Okay.
nung nakikita niya kami ni Carlitos na lagi magkalapit, tinatanong niya kami, magkano ba kayo? Nagkakataon, kung tinatanong niya, ako ibatirin kami nito. Break kami. So, kung tinatanong
I
ako,
think it
"Magkano
happened
ba
2
kayo?"
times, no? 2 beses.
Oo,
Break
wala.
kami parehong times. So,
Wala. Tapos,
So nagalit siya sa inyo because
dahil
naglihim kayo.
biglang isang araw, nagme-makeup siya, nagpunta siya sa dressing room ng nanay niya. Mami, buntis si Bibet. Kinukwento niya sa akin later on, nakaganon din yung kamay niya, sabi niya, sa kilay niya. Sabi daw niya kay Carlitos, akala ko ba hindi kayo magkaano-ano, paano nabuntis?
Paano kayo nga nagkasundo after that?
No, because of the work ethics na talagang inano niya sa amin.
Okay.
Pag nakikita
Hindi ka naman niya tinanggal or hindi ka naman niya ano?
Hindi, pag nakita niya gano'n ka masipag.
I'll just, bago makalimutan, I think at that time, maraming nagtatanong, were asking us for our reactions. Ano bang feelings namin? Why your mother's ganyan? We didn't talk. May mga nagtatanong na press, interviews, ganyan-ganyan. We didn't.
Advice
We stayed away from all of that. It's just a misunderstanding. I thought we were just
advice
making
din
up
naman
something na, kasi naman talaga private, naman yun.
Advice ng father-in-law ko yun. Sabi niya, wag na kayong magsalita sa media at lilipas din yan. So, hindi kami nagsalita at all. Tapos, nung nasa New York kami in 2008, my last trip with the two of them, sabi ng father-in-law ko, kasi tinignan niya yung wedding ring ko, nakalagay sa wedding ring ko, yung palayaw niya talaga sa family, Sputnik. Kasi pinanganak siya, launching ng Sputnik. So, sabi ng mami, Daddy, tumulong ka ba sa kasal nila? Sabi ng father-in-law ko, oo, pinatawag ko si Carlitos, tinanong ko kung magkano gagastusin. So, binigyan ko ng cheque. Tapos, ang mama naman, yung lola ni mother-in-law ko, siyang gumastos sa lahat ng bulaklak sa simbahan at saka doon sa reception. So, sabi ng Armida, ako lang pala walang tinulong. Sabi ng father-in-law ko, abay, oo naman, ikaw lang naman ang masama ugali sa atin.
Well,
Kasi ang father-in-law ko kaya
naman
niyang
yun,
biruin.
talagang career brutal lang talaga yun. But,
Yun ang karinyo brutal.
Oo.
but my mother was always always supportive sa amin and you know,
Pero you felt bad at that time. Siyempre, wedding nyo, tapos hindi dumating ang mother mo.
I knew na gano'n ang mangyayari. It wasn't a surprise. That's why, di ba, nagkausap naman kami. Pero despite that, she was always talagang thoughtful, loving, and talagang interested sa nangyayari sa amin later on when we were married na and we were raising a family. She's always staying in touch, connection, and we would go there and everything was positive sa ganun.
So, paano nyo na-break yung tampo? Actually, it's not galit eh.
No,
it's not tampo eh.
It's just time. I think time lang.
When Sarah came out,
Nagpunta siya sa ospital. Nandun siya.
was that the start? Or even before
Even
that?
before that.
Okay.
Even before that.
It was
Tapos,
time. It was just time.
ang hindi lang niya na inabot sa ospital, pero tawag siya ng tawag, si Rafa. Kasi nasa New York sila nung pinanganak ito. Dahil nakaschedule siyang bumalik ng October. Kasi yun ang schedule na panganganak ni Rafa. Pinanganak ito July 25. Kaya hindi siya nakapunta rito. Nasa ospital. Alam niyang premature. Tawag ng tawag. Kumusta?
Premature baby, si Rafa?
Oo. 29 weeks.
Oo nga, sana nga October na ako pinanganak para hindi tag-ulan. Kasi last
Oy, tagulan. Ang tagulan,
last 2 birthdays ko palagi kung may bagyo pag July eh.
So, nung lumabas na syempre, may Sarah na, may Rafa na. So, everything runs smoothly.
Yeah, even before that.
Even before that.
I think it's really important also. I think one thing, hindi ko naman alam na ganun ka, yun. But I think from both sides, my mother at saka kami, we just did not talk. We just did not share any of that information with the
media.
with the media or with the
Hindi ka
public.
nagpa-interview.
No, private ano yan. Hanggang ngayon, I can talk about, okay, it's all under the bridge. Pero years later, it's only when I realized how valuable it was. Kasi may mga nakikita kong mga nag-aaway in public. Kayo na muna mag-fix.
Otherwise, naging malaking
Parang
kontrobersiya yun.
because
Had you talked?
Kasi you become material for...
Yeah, that's why. Pinagpiestahan kayo ng media
Diba?
kung
Parang-
nagsalita kayo.
There were a couple of, akala namin kaibigan namin from the press who really ganyan, sympathy
Oh,
talk.
yes, yeah.
You know, parang trying to draw us out kasi, what's your side, ganyan. Of course, we didn't kasi talagang ano lang yan, parang ano lang naman yan, it's just, it's sabi namin, it's just something that will blow over.
Pero mabuti ito
as it
na
turns out, it was better talaga.
Nabusalan to. Hindi nagsalita.
Hindi, kasi din, because outside of us, I had a good working relationship with Armida. Dahil naging writer nga ako, yung mga ganun. So, nagkaroon ako ng feeling, nalilipas din to. Bakit ka mag-iingay? Nanay ng asawa mo. O, di bunso pa.
Akala nga namin tuloy na ikaw ang paboritong kasi wala kang ni Tita Mids. Ito parating ang karay-karay. Ito parating kasama Lahat ng lakad ni Tita Mids. Ang bibet talaga, hindi ikaw. Ang daughter-in-law ang parating karay-karay ng nanay mo.
Kasi nag-aaway sila. Pag magkasama sila, akong taga-traffic.
Totoo din yun in some cases.
Sabihin sa asawa niya, pag hindi siya nag-pack up ng alas 7, sasaksakin ko siya. Ganun yung salita yun. There was one time he was doing a movie, naiinip siya kasi sabi niya kailangan alas 7, pack up na. Wala siyang kamalay-malay, nabalahura yung production truck sa daan, yung sasakyan niya, hindi ba kadaan ngayon? At that time, alam mo sa pagkaantay niya, meron siyang 6 na kilo ng kalamansi. Pinagpipipiga niya sa mga bote ng family size na soft drinks. Kainip-inip siya. Tapos hindi pa rin dumarating. Ano ba naman yung asawa mo? Naubos na lahat ng kalamansi rito. Wala na ako mapipiga. Wala pa siya rito.
Kwento mo yung kay James Cooper.
Tapos kasi ang style ito, pag nag-shooting ito nung araw at meron siyang shot na gustong gawin na sabihin ng mother-in-law ko, wag na, tama na ka dito. Kasi ang gagawin niya, James, punta kayo ng
James Cooper kasi was the stylist of Tita Maricel.
A friend and makeup
Maricel
artist.
Soriano, yes.
Makeup
Right.
artist of
Nga.
a very close friend of
Sasabihin
Maricel.
niya, James, punta kayo ng mami sa vegan. Yayain mong bumili ng kung ano-ano doon, sabi niya. Para magawa ko tong eksena to. So, sige, direct, mga ilang oras. Kasi ang gagawin niya, yung kanyang mga dolly shot, babaklasin niya yung wall ng bahay. Ayaw niya
Bahay
makita.
kubo,
Bahay kubo.
Hindi naman konkreto
Oo.
binababa. Pero ano pa rin.
Pinapatanggal niya, tapos
Pero
lalagyan
grabe
niya
pa
na.
rin.
Para ang camera niya gumagalaw ng ganun. Yung tama-tama, pagbalik nila James at ng mami, nakatayo na uli, parang wala. Pag nanonood na kami ng Rashes, kaganon yun. Carlitos, paano mo nagawa yung shot?
Siguro tawag dito, kung naandun yun, baka imposible mong magawa yun. Kung present si Tita Mids, dahil magreklamo talaga at hindi papayag yun.
I admit talagang yung kanyang discipline, yung kanyang heart, was also for my good, for my own good. Kasi sometimes you get carried away na mag-shooting.
Siyempre sa director
kahit yung shoot ko, kahit siguro 1-month-old baby we were shooting. Tapos and then she wanted to finish it na kasi nga for the baby. Ganyan. Pero I think I went a little too long. So medyo we had a scare. So we had to call a doctor. Ganyan. Pero naayos naman yung sa baby. Kasi matagal yung shoot. Medyo napapagod na yung baby and all.
Pagka nung araw, pag nagre-revise kami ng script na kami dalawa lang, hindi babayaran ng mother-in-law ko yung cost ng printing at saka yung photocopy. Kami ang magbabayad nun. Pag si Carlitos, ang budget niya ng footage sa film, dahil film pa nung araw, hindi naman digital, sumobra.
Ang budget ko noon was 45,000 feet. That's about 5-to-1 shooting ratio.
Wow.
Ibabawas niya sa sweldo niya. Yung cost,
Kung
hindi
sumobra
lang,
ako ng 45,000 feet.
yung cost, hindi lang ng film, kundi pati ng development ng film.
Pero nakatulong sa akin to
yes.
be self-disciplined.
Alright.
Nakatulong yun sa akin.
Kasi pwede ka kasing sumobra, alam mo yung
Pero
producer is
despite
your
that,
mom.
may mga nababalitaan ako, people were saying I was shooting 100,000 feet of film, tapos hindi naman totoo. Pero
Sabi na minsan sasabihin ng
but
father.
no, I never went over, I think the highest I went was 60,000 feet, which is like, let's say if you're shooting a
That's
2-hour
about 7
movie,
days.
it's like you shot 12 hours of footage of film. That was the highest I went. But normally it would be 5-to-1. So if I was shooting a 2-hour movie, I would go up to normally 10 hours. Most of the time, talaga, I was really staying there, 10 hours of footage. Hindi lalagpas.
Pag sinabi ng father-in-law ko nung araw, halimbawa, sinabi niya, Mami, huwag mo na ibawas sa sweldo ng Carlitos. Yung sirok-sirok lang ka. Huwag mo na singilin. Alam mo ang sagot niya. Aba, kung hindi ako magtuturo sa kanila, sino? Ganun siya talaga ka-eksakto.
Disciplinarian talaga, si Tita Mids.
Yeah, she was like that, hindi lang to everybody in the production. That she was like that also to me. So we were all...
Hindi ka exempted kahit anak ka,
we
di
were
ba?
all,
Yun, which is good, di ba?
Pero kasi mabusisi siya talaga. Kaya
Yan na nga
ito nung araw working with his mother, mahilig siya mag-intention yan. Nagne-nail bite yan eh. Ganon niya sa tension niya. Kinuwento sa akin ni Richard Gomez, isang beses daw, kumakain sila ng puto. Nail bite, nag-aaway na naman ng mami tsaka si Carlitas. Ganon na ng ganon si Carlitas. Sabi ng mami, ano ba? Nguya ka ng nguya ng daliri mo. Tapos sabi ni Richard, nakialam daw siya. Sabi niya, Direk, ito, puto, ito na lang kainin mo. Ang ginawa daw ni Carlitos, biniyak yung puto na ganyan, pagkatapos ito rin ang kanyang nginin.
I mean, hearing these stories, Rafa, anong reaction? Kasi somehow hindi mo na inabutan yung lola mo or hindi mo malang nakatrabaho. Pag nakakarating sa iyo yung mga kwentong yan, ano ang pakiramdam?
Well, ako napapaisip lang ako kasi usually pag may mga film projects ako or movies or teleserye, yung mga nakakasama mo sa set kasi for the time you're shooting the project, parang nagiging pamilya mo na rin eh. Kasi araw-araw kayo nag-shooting and taping, tagal ng oras. So ako napapaisip na lang na, ano kaya no kung kasama ako? at my age now, nakasama sila na. Kasi bata pa ako noon eh. Ang naalala ko lang talaga nung lumalaki ako is yung office ng mga magulang ko, hindi siya traditional office. Para siyang film set siya. So doon ako dumadalaw.
Oo, na-imagine ko.
So nung ako naging of age na pumili ng trabaho, nung college ako, doon din ako napadpad.
Sabi ni Pen Medina, ang na-weirdan daw siya. May isang eksena doon sa movie nila. So tinulak ni Daria Ramirez si Pen sa bintana habang si Rafa naglalaro sa baba. Tapos dapat pagka tulak kay Pen sa lupa, dapat iiyak si Rafa. Hindi makaiyak. Sabi ni, workshop ni Pen, Rafa, ganito yan. Sabi niya, isipin mo sa tunay na buhay, ang mama mo ba tsaka ang papa mo nag-aaway dahil may girlfriend ang papa mo? Hindi. Bakit sila nag-aaway? Pag hindi gusto ni Papa yung script.
So, patay, sabi ni Pen.
Pero at that time ba, nasa mind mo na someday, maging
At that
artista
time,
rin ako?
Nung gumagawa sila ng pelikula, hindi talaga eh. At that time, gusto ko maging basketball player. Pero bata pa ako noon. And then, well, sobrang hirap of course maging basketball player. Nung pa-high school na ako, kasi palagi akong pinupush ng mom ko na mag-perform. Kaya pag may party kami, Rafa, gayahin mo si ano, or kumanta ka ng ano.
May mga school productions.
So nabudol ako.
So, ng nanay
Yung
mo.
lumaki ako, yun yung na-realize ko na, okay, entertainer, storyteller, okay. Tapos doon, nabudol ako.
Hindi, tsaka ang ginawa namin sa kanya, nung nagpasya na siya na pumasok sa industry, hindi na kami gaano nag-i-Ingles sa bahay pagkausap namin siya para matuto siya ng Tagalog ng mas maigi kasi sa international school, nag-high school, tapos sa Amerika nag-aral. So, tinatagalog kasi yung first niya na serye na narinig niya sa set, papalitan na yung set, baklas, baklas! Akala daw niya ang baklas, ibig sabihin plural ng bakla.
You're gonna get me canceled.
Pero magaling ka na mag-Tagalog ngayon, di ba?
Kailangan magaling mag-Tagalog kasi importante kung magsasaulo ka ng mga linya. Wow! Sa ulo. Kasi pag nag-iisip ako English talaga. Pero sa mga linyahan, importante sa akin na tinetext ko talaga yung EP or yung handler ko na si Sheng from Viva for our film, Post House, August 20. Sheng, pasend naman sa akin nung script. Nahirapan ako on the day. So the day before talaga, nag-ano ako ng linya. Lalo na pag monologue.
Talagang sinasaulo mo talaga.
Pag malalim yung Tagalog.
Oo.
Pero teka
diba?
muna, ang saya-saya to talk about the past movies. Pero isn't it a great time to be in the movies ngayon? Kasi right now, with all of these films na Philippine movies going back to the theaters at yung audiences going back to the theaters.
Yun ang gusto ko rin
itong food delivery,
Yeah, right.
itong Sunshine,
Right,
and
right.
then
Post House.
yung Post House. Opening pa sa August
Talagang
20.
hindi, ang galing-galing
Tapos,
nito mag-promote.
Well, yung ano,
Ako matutuwa sa yung diva.
yun din P77 I'm also part of that. Yung P77 is running now. At saka, meron pa isa yung Toxic Family.
Oh, Toxic Family. Oo.
Yun, I mean,
Kasama ka rin doon sa movie.
Hindi,
Si OG Diaz
wala.
ang producer.
Pero madaming and it's an exciting time kasi people are going back to the theaters at saka particularly yung food delivery at saka yung yung Sunshine. Also brought honors to us from the International Film Festival circuit.
Yes. Inabutan natin, Bebeth, direct, yung kalakasan talaga ng
Yeah, because there was a time we were making 350 movies
a year.
Alam
And
mo,
even
pag
more.
naririnig ko yan,
And even more.
as an actor today, parang
Yes.
nangangarap na lang ako na umabot ulit tayo
Right,
sa
diba?
ganun.
Alam mo,
Kasi-
totoo yun. At saka yung mga tao talagang excited pumunta sa mga sinihan. Di ba?
And I'm sure sa mga taga-industriya natin, ang daming trabaho
Yeah.
for everyone. Not just actors, pero press and media.
The golden years ng
yeah,
industriya.
Alam mo,
Producer,
kailangan din nating tanggapin na isa sa mga dahilan ng ikinahina din ng mga pelikula, hindi lamang dahil sa nagtaas ng presyo sa mga sine, kung hindi nawala yung ABS-CBN.
I agree with you. I
Because
agree
sa
with you.
ABS-CBN, yung kanilang star-making abilities, mga
Yes.
ganun, nawala yun.
So thank you very much sa Congress ng 2020 for ending the franchise of ABS, and you destroyed the you kind of crippled the advertising
Yeah,
industry as
I
well.
remember that's May 5, 2020. Diba?
But you
Hindi
know
ko
what's good?
makakalimutan.
I mean, it's good to see over the last few years, even though maraming nawalan ng trabaho because of that politically. It's good to see the others, like networks, GMA, TV5, having ABS shows on their platforms. There are more jobs for everybody, and that's what sa industriya natin. We just want more jobs. We want
Lahat tayo
everybody.
nalungkot.
We want everybody to
Yes.
be working. Sana lahat may trabaho and tuloy-tuloy lang.
So marami pa rin challenges, and
Yes.
but a lot of good things have been happening. Kahit na unti-unting hindi total compliance yet, pero unti-unting nagko-comply naman mga tao. The Eddie Garcia law has also been helpful.
Yes.
And I will always forever be proud of our Senator Risa Ontiveros.
Oh, yes.
Because hindi lang sa pakikipaglaban niya, kung hindi
Saludo
dahil,
kami sa iyo.
dahil sa si Risa, sa teatro nagsimula.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No,
Oo.
she was one of the children of Captain Von Trapp
Sa Sound of
the
Music.
Sound of Music ng Repertory
talaga?
Philippines. Ang artista ng bayan, lumalaban. Pero hindi lahat artista sa Senado magaling.
And of course, talking about your movie, this is your chance. Tell us about your movie.
Our film is called Post House, directed by Nicolas Red, produced by Viva, Evolve Studios, and Studio Viva. Si Sid Lucero siya yung bida. Si Cyril is his character. Yung mom niya na murder in 1989. Tapos binintang nila yung dad niya. Tapos yung dad niya pinaalis, na exile yung dad niya. And years later, may na-receive siyang reel of film. And nagtataka siya, saan nanggaling tong reel of film na to? And he watched it, and then may mga mysterious things na nangyayari nung pinanood niya yung film na yan. This is the first feature film directed by Nicolas Red, who is the younger brother of Mick Red and son of Direk Raymond Red. Si Direk Mick Red naman is head of Evolve
He's
Studios.
a creative producer in this project.
It's exciting for a number of reasons. First time we work together na as co-actors. We don't have a scene, pero to promote a movie together.
Ang sarap,
It's
di
very
ba?
exciting.
You're promoting a movie together.
Yeah. It's also exciting kasi our director, si Nicolas Red, it's his first feature film. And for me personally, kasama rin ako, I was with this project when it was still a short film. It was a 15-minute short na pinasok nila in a festival or grant competition, I think. And I think nanalo siya ng grant at the time. And then I think because it did well, they were able to develop it into a feature film na eventually na-pick up ng Viva and Studio Viva. So I've always wanted to
Horror
work
to,
with the
di ba?
Red
Horror film
brother,
ito.
horror.
Yeah, oo.
So matagal ko nang gusto makatrabaho yung si Mick. And then, so I worked with the brother first. And then eventually, nakatrabaho ko si Mick.
Magagaling yung
So, parang-
pamilya na yan. Oh.
It's exciting.
Yes.
It's exciting
At
to...
saka horror genre siya. Kaya lang, it
Kakaiba.
iba kasi it deals with the Philippine film history.
Is it a black movie?
A what?
May pagka-black yung pelikula?
A dark,
May pagka-dark?
Yeah. But it's really about, it delves into the Philippine film history also kasi may interest yung mga Red brothers there, no? Several of them learned film from their own father, si Raymond, one of the pillars at saka student and pillars of Mowal Fund. May interest sila talaga dyan sa Philippine film history, the silent, the horror films, early genres. The genre is horror, pero it's actually an exploration into yung family traumas and family dysfunctionalities
Kakaiba siya, no?
na di-discover at na-experience nung character played by Sid Lucero, yung lead character. It goes into family dynamics. It's really all about family and kanyang dealing with the secrets and the traumas in his own family.
Forgot to mention, ang anak ni Sid Lucero is played by Bea Benene. So our film stars Sid Lucero and Bea Benene na sinosolve nila yung mystery kung bakit may mga nangyayari nung na-rediscover niya yung reel of film. So sa mga viewers din natin, kung mahilig kayo ng manananggal, panoorin niyo yung pelikula.
Magaling ang mga Red. Direct Mick, napakagaling
At saka
niya
masaya mag-shooting talaga ng horror.
At saka napaka-cool. Horror ang sinushoot nyo, pero napaka-cool ni director.
Nakakatakot panoorin ng horror, pero
Oh,
bilang artista,
yes.
masaya i-shoot ang horror.
Yes,
So
yes.
nag-enjoy kami.
It's the same team that brought you Deleter and Lilim.
Oh yes. Mga kaibigan, alam nyo, kulang na kulang siguro sa amin yung 2 oras.
Lalo pa, Aster, ha? Hindi ko pa pwedeng sabihin ang detalye, pero malaki ang posibilidad na gagawa kami ng pelikula kaming tatlo.
Wow! Yun ang
Saka
ating
na-
kailangang abangan.
Saka na muna yung detalye,
Oo.
but nakausap
Alam mo,
na namin
looking
yung
forward to
director.
that. I was just about to ask that. Inunahan mo ko. Kung i-rewind ang buhay ninyo, anong isang bagay ang gusto nyong balikan? Simulan natin muna sa iyo, Rafa.
Siguro makikinig ako sa nanay ko. At nung high school pa lang, sana nag-umpisa na akong umarte, sumayaw, mag-perform. Sana hindi ako tumigil ng piano. Kasi nung bagets pa ako, gusto ko mag-basketball eh. Ibig sabihin kung nag-umpisa ako, tsaka sa high school pa lang nag-umaarte at kumakanta na ako, ibig sabihin,
Ang layo na nang
mas
narating
magaling
mo.
ako today.
Oo,
Pero
di ba?
yun, sana
Ang layo na nang
nag-umpisa ako
narating
ng
mo.
mas maaga.
Kasi alam mo, it's a lesson. Always listen to your mom.
Yes. Kung hindi, magiging manananggal ka. Katulad ng manananggal sa post house.
And of course, Direk, it was of course ikaw.
When we got news about her having cancer, I think what I appreciate there was yung talagang it just clarified everything, priority sa buhay, and it brought everybody in the family
Closer.
close,
Yes,
closer. And so, not na gusto kong balikan because it was really a tough time also, especially for Bibeth. Pero it was brought everybody together and things became really clear. The priorities sa buhay, ganyan.
Bebeth.
Wala akong masasabing pinagsisihan ko dahil I am grateful na lumaki ko sa hirap. Halimbawa, pag nanonood ako ng mga sining kagaya ng Sunshine, nakikita kong totoo yung daigdig na yun, hindi imba-imbento. But if I could redo one thing na hindi ko dapat ginawa nung bata ako, sana hindi ako naninigarilyo.
Tama yun. Hindi ka naninigarilyo, di ba? Direk, hindi ka naninigarilyo. Wow. Hindi na.
Tsaka Aster, pinagpapasalamat ko talaga sa lahat. Lumaki ako, ang kaisipan ko waray. Kasi ang waray, may sense of humor. Naglilibing na ng tao, tumatawa pa. Ang waray, ganun talaga. Like, naalala ko ng bata ako, kasi ang tatay ko lay minister at saka abogado at the same time. Pero gustong-gusto kong maging Katoliko. Kasi naiinggit ako sa mga kaibigan ko na meron silang First Communion picture nakapatong sa ibabaw ng mga piano. So iyak ako ng iyak sa nanay ko, Mama, bakit hindi tayo Katoliko? Wala akong picture sa ibabaw ng piano, naiinggit ako. Alam mo, sabi ng nanay ko, ba't ka naiinggit? Wala ka naman piano.
How much of your mom and your dad ang nakuha mo?
On the outside, parang I'm like my mom. Pero sa loob-looban, in private, I'm like my dad. So both them.
Medyo quiet, di ba? Medyo quiet. Opposite eh. Kaya yung opposite attracts eh. Ito mo naman personalidad ng nanay mo.
Sociable, intelligent,
Hindi lang sociable, di ba? Ano pa?
Sex symbol.
sex symbol. Charm.
Ito madaldal. Your dad is a quiet person, di ba? It's a quiet type.
But 50-50, I think.
50-50. Oh, so 50, at least 50%.
And thankful din naman. Actually, ang palaging tinatanong sa akin sa showbiz is, kung nape-pressure ka because of your family, your mom, your dad, lola. Usually, ang sagot ko kasi is, alam mo, hindi ako nape-pressure kasi I learn a lot. They've been a good resource. They teach me sa pag-aarte, sa pag-audition. Pero dapat kailangan may bago akong narrative eh. So ngayon, ibahin ko yung sagot ko. Na-intimidate ako kasi they're so good and mahirap talaga kasi napaka-icon ni Mahal. And ibahin ko, for the record, yun ang bagong narrative ko. Na-intimidate ako sa...
Reaction. How would you live up to that kind of impression? Especially being compared to your parents, being compared
Ako, for
to
me,
your
honestly, just do my best. Sila rin naman talaga nasa industriya, so pinagdaanan na rin nila yung you try, tapos hindi masyadong maganda yung work. Tapos, do it again. Minsan, okay lang yung work. Minsan, sobrang galing. Minsan, hindi magaling.
And of course, with that, maraming salamat, Direk. My dear friend, Bibeth.
And it was a pleasure for us to be here.
We had so much fun. Thank you.
Maraming salamat sa aking personal sponsors, Pandan Asian Cafe. Thank you so much, Alvin, Dennis, and of course, Roland, Ever Belena, Hello Glow, Beauty Derm, Eris Beauty Care, Aficionado by Joel Cruz, Doc Rob's Wellness Supplements, R&A Events Specialist by Richie Ang, Asia Slashes, Nessa Sila Salon for my hair and makeup, Nutritech, maraming salamat, Jos de la Luna, Most View from Japan, Memoy.ph, Silpul Joyce Furnitures, maraming salamat, Charles Solano of Solano Hotel, Colorete Clothing by Bebot Santos, Dr. M. Sevilla of Vine Aesthetics, Shinagawa LASIK and Aesthetic Center, Shinagawa Diagnostic and Preventive Care, Dr. Essentials Aromatherapy, Studio Manila, Meron akong ditong gustong pasalamatan. Please allow me. This is Aura Wellness and Spa. I don't know if you've heard of Ella V. She's based in the US, pero nag-put up siya dito ng bagong business, and this is it. This is along Marcos Highway. This is one for you. Sana pumunta kayo nung as a family. And this one also, I'd like to thank Doc Rob ng Doc Rob's Chiropractic Wellness Clinic, and of course, Patricia Javier for this beautiful massage pillow. This is from Japan. So, direct magagamit mo to. Magagamit nyo, Bibet. Promise. Oo, promise. Magagamit nyo to. This for you. Maraming salamat sa inyong patuloy na pagsubaybay sa TikTok with Aster Amoyo. Huwag niyo pong kakaligtaan mag-subscribe, like, share, and hit the bell icon of TikTok with Aster Amoyo every Friday, 12 noon. Hanggang sa muli mga kaibigan, dito lamang po sa TikTok with Aster Amoyo. Bye for now, and God bless us all.